When Rainman premiered in 1988, it became more than just a movie. It was a cultural touchstone. But behind its Oscar-winning success are fascinating truths that make this classic even more remarkable. Fact 1.
What difference does it make where you buy underwear? What difference does it make? Underwear is underwear.
Hoffman was originally cast as Charlie Babbitt, not Raymond. He struggled to connect with the role during early rehearsals. Barry Levinson encouraged him to switch roles with Tom Cruise. The change gave Hoffman a new challenge and a deeper connection to the material. At one point, Hoffman called his agent ready to quit. He feared he couldn't portray Raymond authentically. Levinson convinced him to stay just one more week. That week turned into the entire shoot. Hoffman later admitted it was one of the hardest roles of his career. He spent months researching autism spectrum disorders. This included meeting with real individuals diagnosed with savant syndrome. He mimicked speech patterns and physical habits with care. By the end, he was fully immersed in Raymond's world. The performance earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. It also reshaped public awareness of autism. Had Hoffman left, the film would have been entirely different. In hindsight, he called staying the best career decision I ever made. Audiences agreed, and his portrayal remains one of cinema's most iconic. Fact 2.
Ray, don't start with that. You want me to put the top up?
Definitely like the top down.
Yes, I know that. Now, I don't want you to burn.
Cruise wasn't content to just follow the script. He worked closely with Levinson and Hoffman to refine Charlie's arc. Cruise wanted Charlie to start as selfish and abrasive. That way, the transformation would be more powerful. He studied people who had lived privileged yet disconnected lives. Cruise incorporated subtle body language shifts as the story progressed. His early scenes are filled with restless energy and quick speech. By the end, his tone slows and his posture softens. Cruise also pushed for real emotional tension in scenes with Hoffman. He wanted their arguments to feel unscripted. Several moments were improvised based on Hoffman's reactions. Cruise even requested extra takes when he felt he could dig deeper. Levinson trusted Cruise's instincts, giving him room to experiment. The result was a performance that critics called one of Cruise's most mature. It balanced the film's heart with genuine conflict. Without Cruise's input, Charlie's evolution might have felt forced. Instead, it unfolds naturally across the 2-hour runtime. It's one of the reasons Rainman still resonates today. Fact 3.
Sorry about the toothpicks.
82, 82, 82.
82 what, Ray?
Toothpicks.
One of the film's most famous moments happens in a diner. Raymond instantly counts hundreds of spilled toothpicks. This wasn't just a clever screenplay invention. It came directly from real-life accounts of savant abilities. Hoffman had studied with a man who could instantly process large numbers. The man's skill wasn't limited to toothpicks. It applied to matches, coins, and cards. Hoffman suggested the idea to Levinson during rehearsals. They decided to make it a turning point for Charlie's respect toward Raymond. To get it right, they used actual toothpicks and counted them on set. The prop master confirmed the number matched Raymond's count exactly. This authenticity gave the scene extra credibility. It also demonstrated Hoffman's deep commitment to accuracy. Viewers still talk about it as a defining moment in the film. It shows Raymond's gift in a single visual beat, and it's rooted in a real neurological phenomenon. That grounding in truth is part of why Rainman feels so believable. It's a small moment, but it captures the entire essence of the film. Fact 4.
You read all these stories that are in this book, and you don't know if you read the book.
I don't know if you're in.
You don't know.
The original script by Barry Morrow was far more dramatic. It focused heavily on medical details about autism. Another draft leaned into a road comedy tone. Steven Spielberg was attached at one point, but left to direct Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. When Barry Levinson came on board, he reshaped the story. He kept the road trip but focused on brotherly connection. Several subplots were cut to keep the emotional core intact. The casino sequence, for example, was expanded in later drafts. This allowed Raymond's abilities to have real-world impact on the plot. Dialogue was tightened to feel more natural. Hoffman and Cruise both contributed suggestions during table reads. By the time filming began, the script had evolved dramatically. Levinson later said the final version was 50% different from the one he first read. The rewrites ensured the story balanced heart and humor. It also kept the pacing sharp despite its emotional weight. That careful crafting is why the film still feels fresh decades later. It's proof that the best scripts are often the most rewritten. Fact 5.
In the year 1992, what was April 4th?
Saturday.
The title character was inspired by Kim Peek, a real savant. Peek wasn't autistic but had an extraordinary memory. He could recall thousands of books word for word. He also had incredible calendar calculation skills. Barry Morrow met Peek in the early 1980s. Their meeting sparked the first idea for Rainman. Hoffman later spent time with Peek during preparation. Peek's ability to recall phone books impressed the entire crew. Some of Raymond's quirks, like avoiding eye contact, came from other sources. Hoffman wanted Raymond to be a composite of multiple real people. This avoided a one-to-one portrayal that might feel exploitative. Kim Peek loved the film and often attended screenings. He enjoyed talking to audiences afterward about his life. Hoffman always credited Peek as a key inspiration. Many scenes, including the plane anxiety moment, drew from real stories. Peek's gentle demeanor informed Raymond's calm presence. Without him, Rainman would be an entirely different movie. His influence is woven into the DNA of the film. Fact 6.
Rainman?
Yeah.
Let's play some cards. Yeah.
When Charlie and Raymond hit Las Vegas, the production went all in. They filmed at Caesar's Palace during off hours. Real dealers and pit bosses were used as background performers. This gave the sequence an authentic casino atmosphere. Cruise and Hoffman trained with professional dealers to handle chips convincingly. They learned proper shuffling and betting techniques. The slot machine shots were done on location, not on a set. Security staff actually monitored the shoot in real time. Lighting crews had to work around the casino's existing setup. The extras included real gamblers who happened to be there. This blend of staged and real action made the scenes feel alive. Hoffman insisted on staying in character between takes. He interacted with dealers as if he were Raymond. Cruise improvised some of Charlie's coaching lines. The result was a sequence that felt unscripted yet precise. Even casino regulars were impressed by Hoffman's accuracy. Today, the scene is considered one of the most realistic gambling depictions in film. It's the perfect mix of Hollywood polish and real-world grit. Fact 7.
Now, Raymond, why don't you have a seat over there? Mr. Bat, why don't you go to the other side of the table? Raymond, right here. Have this seat. Raymond, right here. Have it take the seat.
The director couldn't resist appearing in his own movie. Barry Levenson plays the psychiatrist at the end of the film. His calm, clinical demeanor contrasts with the emotional weight of the scene. Levenson's cameo was unplanned initially. The role was meant for another actor who became unavailable. Rather than delay, Levenson stepped in. He delivered the lines with quiet authority. Hoffman and Cruise enjoyed having the director on camera with them. The cameo adds a subtle meta layer for fans in the know. Levenson has made similar cameos in other films. He believes directors should occasionally step in front of the camera. It helps them better understand the actor's perspective. The scene became a memorable final note for the story. It also ensured Levenson's presence was literally part of the film's DNA. Fans often spot him on rewatches. For newcomers, it's a neat Easter egg to discover. It's just one more way Levenson's personal touch shaped Rainman. Fact 8.
And the winner is Rainman, Mark Johnson, producer.
At the 61st Academy Awards, Rainman swept major categories. It took home Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Original Screenplay. Hoffman's win marked his second Oscar. Barry Levenson's Best Director award solidified his Hollywood status. The screenplay win recognized both Barry Morrow and Ronald Bass. Winning Best Picture against strong competition was no small feat. Films like Dangerous Liaisons and Mississippi Burning were also nominated. Critics praised the film's balance of heart and craft. The Academy's recognition boosted its box office run. It became the highest-grossing film of 1988 in the US, and internationally it performed equally well. Awards buzz kept audiences interested months after release. Levenson credited the cast and crew's dedication for the success. Hoffman saw it as a win for awareness of autism. Cruise, though not nominated, was widely praised. The clean sweep cemented Rainman as a late 80s classic. It's still studied today as an example of award season dominance. Fact 9.
97X. Bam. future of rock and roll.
Most movies shoot scenes out of order for efficiency. Rainman took a different approach for key road trip moments. Levenson wanted the actors' relationship to evolve naturally. They drove from Cincinnati to Los Angeles in the order seen on screen. This allowed Hoffman and Cruise to build chemistry day by day. The changing weather and scenery added authenticity. Some moments were improvised based on real roadside stops. The motel scenes were often filmed in actual small-town locations. Hoffman stayed in character throughout the journey. Cruise adjusted his energy as Charlie began to soften. The crew became a traveling family by the end. Filming in sequence also made continuity easier. The aging of costumes and vehicles felt organic. Small character beats developed in real time. This approach was more expensive but paid off on screen. The gradual emotional shift is part of why the story feels so genuine. It's a filmmaking choice rarely used today. Fact 10.
It's Kmart. You hear me. I know you hear me.
My boxer shorts
Don't
have
fool me with this shit for a second.
Yours are too tight.
Ray, did you fucking hear what I said? Shut up!
Raymond's meltdown over missing Kmart underwear is unforgettable. It was inspired by a true story Hoffman heard while researching. A man on the spectrum had a similar attachment to a specific clothing brand. The screenwriters adapted it almost word for word. They chose Kmart because it was a familiar chain to audiences. Kmart's marketing team loved the unexpected shout-out. They even used it in promotions after the film's release. Hoffman nailed the repetitive cadence of Raymond's distress. The scene was filmed in a single afternoon. Crew members recalled the quiet intensity on set. Cruise played off Hoffman's energy perfectly. The humor comes from Charlie's growing frustration, but the scene also deepens the audience's understanding of Raymond's needs. It humanizes his routines without mocking them. The moment became one of the film's most quoted lines. It's a blend of comedy and character study that defines Rainman. And it all started with a true-life anecdote. Fact 11.
Are you sure that you drive this car?
It's only 28 miles on the odometer since I drove it a week ago last Saturday. Should be more than 28 miles.
This wasn't just for simplicity, it was character-driven. People with autism sometimes prefer repetitive clothing choices. Hoffman wanted Raymond's look to reflect that. The wardrobe department created multiple identical beige suits. Even the shoes were the same make and model. This allowed Raymond's appearance to remain consistent on the road. The outfit also contrasted with Charlie's flashier style. Viewers could instantly read their differences. Hoffman said the uniformity helped him stay in character. It also made wardrobe continuity much easier. The suits were tailored for comfort during long filming days. Small variations existed but weren't noticeable on screen. The outfit became a subtle visual symbol of Raymond's routines. Fans still recognize it instantly at costume events. Its simplicity has become iconic in movie fashion history. The choice proved that even wardrobe can be a storytelling tool. It's a detail casual viewers might miss, but it adds depth to the character. Fact 12.
Vern, VER, and of course, these people are going to be here all day, Vern. This is an unannounced visit. Vern, this is...
The film boosted public awareness of autism. Before Rainman, autism was rarely depicted in mainstream cinema. The film introduced many to the concept of savant syndrome. Hoffman worked closely with experts to ensure accuracy. After release, autism organizations reported spikes in inquiries. Families recognized traits in loved ones they hadn't understood before. Some even sought diagnoses as a result. The film's visibility helped reduce stigma in some communities. However, it also created misconceptions that all autistic people are savants. Advocates stressed the importance of seeing Raymond as one example. Hoffman often clarified this in interviews. He encouraged people to learn about the broader autism spectrum. The movie became a discussion starter in schools and workplaces. It also inspired documentaries and further research. For many, it was their first exposure to neurodiversity. The impact lasted far beyond awards season. To this day, Rainman is used in awareness campaigns. It remains a cultural touchstone for autism representation. That's a legacy few films can claim. Fact 13. Zimmer was not yet a household name in 1988. Rainman became one of his early breakthroughs. He created a score that felt both intimate and adventurous. The main theme uses synthesizers and soft percussion. It gave the film a modern yet emotional sound. Zimmer wanted the music to reflect Raymond's unique perspective. He avoided traditional orchestral swells. Instead, he used repeating patterns to mirror Raymond's routines. The score was recorded in London on a modest budget. Zimmer worked closely with Levenson to time cues to character beats. The casino sequence is a standout example. Its music blends tension with quiet confidence. Critics praised the score's originality. It earned Zimmer his first Oscar nomination. The soundtrack also sold well commercially. Zimmer later called Rainman the film that changed his career. Today, the score is still instantly recognizable to fans. It remains one of his most beloved early works. Fact 14. Despite being a character-driven drama, Rainman dominated theaters. It opened modestly but built momentum through word of mouth. By the end of its run, it had grossed over $350 million worldwide. It became the highest-grossing film of 1988 in the U.S. International audiences, embraced it as strongly as Americans did. The film's road trip structure made it relatable across cultures. Awards buzz helped sustain its box office presence. It stayed in theaters for months after the Oscars. Merchandise like posters and VHS sales extended its profitability. Hoffman and Cruise's combined star power drew diverse audiences. Critics praised it as both commercial and artistic success. The film's pacing and emotional beats appealed to repeat viewers. It proved serious dramas could thrive in blockbuster slots. Studio executives cited it as a model for prestige filmmaking. Even decades later, it remains financially impressive adjusted for inflation. Its performance solidified Levenson's reputation in Hollywood. It's a reminder that heartfelt storytelling can compete with spectacle. Fact 15. Although the script was polished, spontaneity was encouraged. Levenson trusted his actors to explore moments freely. One famous example is the "I'm an excellent driver" line. Hoffman improvised it during a rehearsal. Levenson kept it in because it felt authentic to Raymond. Cruise often reacted in real time to Hoffman's unscripted choices. This gave their interactions a lived-in quality. The elevator scene in the hotel also had improvised elements. Hoffman would sometimes alter his dialogue slightly between takes. This kept Cruise on his toes and made scenes feel alive. Some improvisations even shaped later rewrites. The approach fostered a collaborative atmosphere. It also allowed emotional beats to emerge naturally. Levenson believed it kept the film from feeling overly rehearsed. Audiences responded to the sense of authenticity. Today, many of those moments are fan favorites. They're proof that sometimes the best lines aren't in the script. Fact 16. The first cut of Rainman ran over 3 hours. Test audiences found it too slow. Levenson and editor Stu Linder had to trim it down. They focused on tightening pacing without losing character depth. Entire subplots were removed. Some roadside encounters never made it past the editing room. The casino sequence was originally longer. It included extra shots of dealing and betting. Cuts were made to keep momentum high. Balancing humor and drama proved tricky. Too many comedic beats risked undercutting emotional moments. The team refined transitions to maintain tone. The final film runs just over 2 hours. Most agree it strikes the perfect balance. Levenson credited Linder's instincts for the film's flow. The editing process took nearly 6 months. It was as much about shaping emotion as telling the story. The end result feels effortless, even though it wasn't. Fact 17. Before Hoffman committed, several names were considered. Jack Nicholson was briefly in talks. Robert De Niro also expressed interest. Each brought different energy to the potential role. Nicholson reportedly wanted a darker tone. De Niro envisioned Raymond as more outwardly emotional. Levenson met with both but felt Hoffman was the right choice. Hoffman's subtlety matched the film's vision. He had a history of transformative performances. His research-driven approach impressed Levenson. Once Hoffman signed on, the script was tailored to him. It allowed for smaller, more nuanced character beats. Nicholson and De Niro moved on to other projects. Both later praised Hoffman's performance. Casting Hoffman changed the film's entire emotional texture. Levenson called it the most important creative decision. It's hard to imagine anyone else in the role today. The casting process shaped the movie we now know. Fact 18. In the film, Rainman is how young Charlie pronounced Raymond. This detail came directly from Barry Morrow's script. Morrow drew inspiration from a childhood friend's nickname. It conveyed innocence and familiarity. The title was never meant to describe Raymond's abilities. Instead, it reflects the bond between the brothers. Early marketing teams worried the title was too vague. Some suggested changing it to something more descriptive. Levenson fought to keep it. He felt it was poetic and personal. The reveal of its meaning in the film is a key emotional beat. It reframes the audience's perception of Raymond. Test audiences responded strongly to the moment. It added depth to Charlie's childhood memories. The title also intrigued viewers before they saw the movie. Its simplicity made it memorable in conversation. Decades later, it's hard to imagine any other name. It's proof that sometimes subtlety works best in storytelling. Fact 19. Although already working in Europe, Zimmer was little known in the US. Rainman brought his talent to a mainstream audience. Levenson discovered Zimmer through a smaller indie project. He wanted a fresh musical voice for the film. Zimmer's score avoided sentimentality while still evoking emotion. Hollywood took notice of his Oscar nomination. Soon after, Zimmer was hired for Driving Miss Daisy and The Lion King. He credits Rainman with opening doors in the industry. The film's success gave him credibility with major studios. Zimmer later collaborated with top directors worldwide. His minimalist style in Rainman influenced his later work. The project proved he could enhance storytelling through restraint. Zimmer still speaks fondly of the experience. He considers it a turning point in his career. The score remains one of his most beloved early pieces. For many fans, Rainman was their first exposure to his music. It was the start of a legendary Hollywood career, and it began with a small-budget drama about two brothers. Fact 20. Rainman faced multiple near cancellations. Studios were unsure a road movie about autism would sell. The project changed directors several times. Each departure risked the film collapsing. At one point, financing was pulled. Cruise and Hoffman personally pushed to keep it alive. Their commitment convinced United Artists to stay on board. Barry Levinson was brought in late to stabilize production. He streamlined the script and locked in a budget. Filming began under tight financial constraints. Weather delays and location issues added pressure. Yet the team persevered through every setback. The gamble paid off beyond expectations. The film became a commercial and critical triumph. Levenson later said its troubled start made success sweeter. It's a reminder that some of the best films almost never happen. Persistence from the cast and crew made the difference. Without it, Rainman might be just another unmade Hollywood script.